Welcome to the See, Joy, and Expand podcast. My name is Christian Joy Panachos, and I am an embodiment life coach and quantum hypnotist. And come join me as we explore what it means to be a messy, raw, imperfect, and authentic human being through experiences of the body. We'll be journeying deep into our subconscious worlds and see what makes our souls tick, and coming back to our conscious minds with maybe a little bit more courage, a little bit more compassion for ourselves, and just daring to dream again. I hope that each episode will guide you to an aha moment, intuitive hit, or gut yes, so we can fearlessly live our lives again.
Hi everyone. I'm doing something new for video recording for the podcast. That the videos are shown on Substack. They get sent straight to everybody's emails whenever a podcast episode comes out, and I'm standing. For years, my work, I've always just sat down, and more recently, I've been more in the energy of doing new and different things all the time, and that's starting to include movement. And standing in every Zoom meeting I'm in feels so good. It feels so good. And I'm noticing every time I move or stand or let my body just, move and not just stay still and be stagnant or feel, I don't know, stuck. Uh, my creativity or my ideas or whatever wants to come through me has been like it's been a it's been flooding out of me, let's just put it that way. Regardless of whatever emotional state I'm in. And if you read my last Substack, I was very I've been having I've been in a state of melancholy lately, and in our society it hasn't been safe to express feelings that aren't deemed positive or good. And I'm just like, ever since my journey, when I had my awakening, I was like in this headspace of let's figure out what emotions are. What are these things about that are always in me that I'm scared to feel, that I fear of feeling because I don't know how to relate to them. I don't know how to use them. I don't know how to engage with them. So, yeah. And so in my melancholy, I had a great idea that wanted to come through me, and where I'm starting a Substack, a separate Substack from mine called Sunday Night Embers. And oh my God, you guys, it was like born from, I wouldn't say the depths of hell, but the depths of my darkness, because my melancholic side wanted a place to be seen and to be heard and to have a voice. And that's where this idea came from. And I invited other creators, other writers in similar-ish situations as I. My melancholy was inspired by my financial situation, stepping into a new line of work, moving from, if you heard from earlier episodes, from nursing into a work that feels passionate, feels purpose-led, feels closer to my soul. And that being said, everybody has backgrounds in medicine and teaching and in various stages of shifting whatever that looks like into what they want their lives to look like, into the work that wants to be a part of their lives. So whether that be part-time working in corporate or in institutional settings, whether that be fully transitioning all the way um, into purposeful work in their own businesses, or whether they are curious and haven't wanted to take that step but are curious about what that looks like, or but know that there's something more out there than them, apart from traditional, what had society had deemed normal and traditional workplace environments. So that's coming out. That's coming out on the 10th of October. We started marketing it, so you guys will see us all over our socials, sharing it with you guys. So you guys can go ahead and start subscribing to it. So when the first emails and messages and embers, we're calling our words embers. What we write are embers, words of light for other people who needed to hear a different viewpoint or perspective or human experience into what does this journey look like, moving from one, because they, like, in social media, internet, society, we always glorify the end result, and nobody ever talks about what happens in between. In between making the decision that you're going to start something new, and the in between journey to this place where they're like, I've made it, whatever that even means. I don't even know what I've made it even means. Like, I even am of the mind frame, what does success even mean to me? Is success even the goal? I don't know. I'm exploring it and getting curious about it because I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet, you guys. And what I mean by that, actually, read the Substack, read what I wrote about what happened. Because I thought I made a full transition out, but turns out, well, I'll just share it. I applied for nursing jobs recently, to my chagrin. Like, so sad. Eyes full of tears. Shared it on my Substack. We'll link it in the show notes. Anyways, so I wanted to share that update with you guys. Also, that's coming out, and Breathwork is coming up soon. Everybody join me. It's so much fun being in community with other people, exploring what our higher selves wants to share with us, what it is we want to work on, or move through, or what wants to be shared with us, being curious, being open, and experience something different. Breathwork is so beautiful. I love this practice because sometimes what we logically know in our minds, let me put it this way. I've been intaking a bunch of beta coaching clients lately, and this is what I've been saying, is that we are in a society where there's tons of information. It's so accessible. It's literally in our pockets on our phones. And we can know so much. We actually know so much. But why, like, have anybody ever noticed that we're still in the same places that we've been for years? We haven't actually made any, like, life hasn't really looked different. And if it does it feel different? So that's why the power of life coaching is getting an additional perspective on your life to take action. What we've become as a society is smart, stuck people. And that's not our fault. Not our fault. It's our biology, it's our nervous system. It is just the way we are wired. So I'm not trying to be like, oh, you are so smart, but why are you still where you are? No, not about that. Not about the shame, not about the guilt. The only thing I think is useful about shame or guilt is to know that it's there and that's something to move through, but it's not useful for moving forward. So, FYI, just so you know, I don't ever come from that place. And that being said, Um, breath work. I was like, where did my train of thought go? Undiagnosed ADHD brain. Where, how does breath work help? Sometimes our minds are not a good driver for our decisions. We know that because we're smart, stuck people these days. And sometimes our bodies know the answer. So that's how the practice unfolds. We practice this breath, we are present with our bodies, and then our inner knowing is allowed to come through, and what we understand about ourselves comes through more than in our conscious states, our waking moments, our day-to-day motions. We are ruled by our subconscious is basically what that is, whether we realize it or not. We are always operating out of our subconscious minds, and that's why we're always stuck. So that being said, oh, before I get on to the next moment, breathwork is happening on the 15th at 10 a.m. PST and the 21st at 11 a.m. PST. The link tree to, actually, I'll just put the Eventbrite links in the show notes, but the links will be in the show notes. Join in. It's only $5. I make it so I only make it $5 so Eventbrite will pay for itself so I can host more people. Otherwise, yeah, I'm not asking for a lot. In fact, like if you pay $5, you can still invite a friend. I don't care. I don't expect everybody to buy a ticket. In fact, bring a friend, bring a family member who's open to it, bring your partner, bring your pets. Everybody is invited. Okay, now the subconscious mind rules our worlds. Oh my God, what a topic. I love the subconscious. I feel like, especially after the workshop I went to, or not workshop, it was a conference, a whole ass conference called Hypnothoughts Live in Las Vegas. Happens every year for like decades. I didn't even know it existed. But in getting to connect with a group of hypnotists who know the value of approaching and making change through subconscious work. Oh, so juicy, so good, so awesome. And instead of regurgitating the mechanics and science behind why, and my brand of hypnosis, theirs is hypnotherapy. Some people had some past life stuff. I do quantum hypnosis along with life coaching and breath work. And the value, like instead of regurgitating the science behind why this is valuable, I'm just going to tell stories. Why was this so useful for me? Why is quantum hypnosis so useful? And how it helped evolve my life? How has it helped evolve others? And this is why I'm sharing my work the way that I am. I am, in the previous episodes, I shared that I am, whoever gives me permission to, thank you everyone who is, I am housing recorded hypnosis sessions that I have facilitated in my Substack so that you can listen to old ones if you are a subscriber to Substack, which is only, I don't even remember, $15 a month. And you can like pay the $15, listen to all of them in 1 month. There's only 3 out so far, but with this episode, there will be a 4th one, and it will be my own hypnosis. And see what is possible in hypnosis. And so, what happens in quantum hypnosis? Okay, first of all, let's just start with the words. Before I lose you guys, because I say quantum hypnosis, let's just define these words a little bit first before I get into the stories, because I've had countless conversations because this is what I do. And every time I say quantum, I lose, before I even get to the hypnosis part of the word, I lose people. I lose them. I even had a conversation with someone else about how I lost them. You're like, Christian, I get lost on the word quantum. And I'm like, really? And I even actually entertained the thought of changing the name to something more, I don't know, resonating, more palatable, what have you. But that didn't feel right to me because why? This is what it is. This is like, so if quantum hypnosis was a person, this is who this person is. That person's name is Quantum. And they were given this name. They actually like their names. So why do I need to change it? Why do I need to change this person? And just get to know them and who they are if quantum hypnosis was a person. Which that could go into a whole other rabbit hole about my spiritual beliefs, but another episode. Anywho, and I think that's what a lot of people end up doing when they, as creators, they kind of like, some people, not everybody, kind of regurgitate the same thing over and over and change the names. I'm like, every time I try something new, I'm like, this is the same thing. You're just calling it different things. And then I realize I'm like, I can actually do a lot of things. And I keep thinking that I'm trying something new. And I'm like, this is the same stuff. Like, I'll go into meditation, I'll work with a hypnotist, I'll work with a breath worker, I'll work with a visualization person who does visualization or a coach who does breath work. It's all the same type of energies, framework. They're just all called different things, which is really cool because it's like science and esoteric and magic. They're kind of actually the same thing after I've experimented with so many modalities. I was like, you guys, they're the same thing. You're just calling it different things. But there's nothing wrong with that. I do not think there's anything wrong. Use the word that resonates. It's always in my work. I always say that. Use the word that resonates with you. That's how you make the most powerful impressions. But that being said, and you're going to be like, why are you saying that? You didn't want to change the word quantum. Okay. It actually pushed me and challenged me to learn how to communicate what this modality is. And I have like different ways of communicating what quantum means. What does quantum mean? And I've had different conversations with different people of different backgrounds on it. Let's go to the very beginning. Where did quantum hypnosis even come from? There is this phenomenal teacher who piloted and pioneered the whole modality called Dolores. And she started as a hypnotherapist, turned past life regressionist, and then she changed it to quantum hypnosis healing therapy because the word past life did not encapsulate the whole the whole practice, because it didn't only go into past life, it went into other areas of life, and I'll explain that in another episode. But like, you can go into inner child work with this stuff, or and then the past life stuff and other realms, dimensions, if you want to believe it, if that's supported for you to believe, take what resonates. And that's why it's been called the word quantum. Why I don't call my stuff QHHT, just quantum hypnosis, for my work, is that I was not trained under her original training. I was trained by a life coach turned quantum hypnotist who was trained under the original teachings, but she added her own spin and added life coaching to it. And I found it to be a beautiful, cohesive relationship as to putting action to what we explore and uncover in our subconscious worlds. So, another way to explain quantum, now that you know the background and a little bit of history of it, is what quantum, the definition of quantum, and I got this from my very logical science facts partner, is that quantum means the most basic form. If you look up the scientific definition in Google. So, in my mind, how that translated, my undiagnosed ADHD mind, is the most basic form. And then my mind goes like base, the basis, the very bottom. And when you if you understand, and when you read my Substack on what is quantum hypnosis, there are different brain wave states. And I'm like making hand gestures if you guys aren't watching this, but there's the alpha and beta brain waves where we're in our conscious minds, where we're in our critical mind making everyday decisions, need to problem solve. There's the heightened states where you're full of anxiety, anger, etc. And then it goes into slower brainwave states, more like meditation. And then at the bottom where I live with my work is in quantum hypnosis, is the theta brainwave state where you are in the slowest, I want to say slowest, don't quote me, slowest brainwave state before sleep. And that's where our higher self thoughts live. And what I mean by higher self is the thoughts and the version of you that is always inside you, closest to your soul, closest to your heart, and not bombarded by the critical mind thoughts. And what lives in the critical mind thoughts in the higher and faster brainwave states, the alpha, the beta, the conditioning of society, the things that your parents taught you, your anxieties, your fears, those fear thoughts that can move you in more unaligned thought patterns and actions and decision making. When we go into the base of our mind, when we're in the theta brainwave state, underneath all those thoughts, programmings, etc., we are getting to your answers, you. We're getting to who you are. And it's so good. I love it. Like, you don't need to listen to the answers of someone else. It goes back to an earlier episode when I talked about how, it was the coaching episode, how you have the inner authority within you. Everybody has their own inner authority. They have the ability to have their own answers, and their answers are unique to them. And how we respect each other's inner authority is what I said in that coaching episode, which is so beautiful. And then back to what I was saying about my relationship with emotions and getting curious about what it is about emotions that I need to understand about myself, because I wanted to get out of my own way during my awakening, is why am I so scared of my subconscious state? And I think a lot of people will say, well, I don't know what I'm going to find there. I totally understand because I used to be there too. Um, and when we allow ourselves to be open and curious about what's there in these spaces in the subconscious or in our emotions, or however this shows up in your life, it's the same thing. Whatever you're afraid of, maybe it's an invitation. Fear is the invitation to see if you can harness curiosity and see what's on the other side of that fear. That being said, story time. I love stories. And I'm gonna talk about my what I have uncovered for myself in quantum hypnosis. Um, I've done a lot of different things, asked a lot of different questions in my own hypnosis sessions for myself. But let's talk about the past life stuff because those are always just really fun. And the what is the value in learning your past lives? Well, as a multifaceted human being, multi-passionate human being, and only, say, previously only engaging in what society's different ways of thinking and haven't gotten curious about different perspectives of thinking, maybe learning about a past life gives you back a piece of yourself that you kind of knew was there, but didn't know how to interact with it, didn't know how, couldn't find it, never felt it in your human experience. But when you experience a past life in a quantum hypnosis, it brings back a piece of you that feels home and close to your soul. And the past life that I'll share in this Substack, you guys will get to hear my recording. I I was a tree, I was a witch, I was a merman, and I think the last one was an alien. And I was like, what? And they all came with experiences and stories of how to be. And before I keep going, are past lives real? You're probably wondering, is this even real? Is this my imagination? And I'm not going to tell you what to believe for yourself. And this was like a cool thing I learned from the one of the past life regressionists at HypnoThoughts, the HypnoThoughts conference is it real or is it metaphor? It's totally up to you. If it feels more supportive to believe what you see in subconscious states as a metaphor or like a dream or just your imagination, take it. Take what resonates. If it feels supportive to you to believe that this is a real past life for you, take it. Take what resonates. For me, and this is true for all my spiritual beliefs, is that I do not have an attachment to my belief. Like, since my awakening journey started, I've learned a lot of things and started to believe a lot of different things, and then allowed me to release the old things that I believed. Knowing that this was only like the past 3 years, knowing that as I move forward, I'm probably going to learn more information that will change and shape my beliefs. And I'm okay with that. And do I believe in past lives? My personal belief, well, I'll share that real quick, is that I do. It resonates with me, and I do because it's fun. I do because it makes me happy. It's exciting to believe that this is true. Now, will it, will, what if one day it's not true? I don't care. I honestly don't care. It was a lot more fun to believe that it was true. And if it wasn't, I was like, that's okay. I had fun anyways. Now, I don't know how someone would prove that to me, but even if they tried, honestly, like if somebody tried to explain how it's not, I would listen to them and I'll be like, or oh, but I won't know till I get there. But for now, I am a quantum hypnotist who believes in past lives. So to my past life stories, um, the one with the merman was really cool because it I got to see like the day in the life of what this merman experiences, and it was um very in community with other people and took care of everybody. Everybody took care of each other in this mermaid community in the bottom of the ocean, in the dark. Like they didn't see light because it was at the bottom of the ocean. They were um, in synchronicity with the ocean creatures around them. Like it gave me very much like Avatar vibes, but deep ocean can't see shit things. Like they sense each other kind of like through echolocation, I suppose. And it was very nice because the piece of that um, memory was knowing that the energy of community is what I took away from that. How I want to interact with others in community instead of being in a me mindset, which is what a lot of what society encourages is just only me, only me. And I love the togetherness that I felt from that. And from that story, I've been able to add the energy of community and connection into my everyday life. And it's been very beautiful. Like, especially with this new project with Sunday Night Embers coming up, I was like, oh, this feels so good to work with people who are like-minded, who have a story to share, who want to share what's possible, that make it okay to feel the things that you do and just move on and take action on your dreams. And with the next one, the the witch lifetime, I love this one so much. It was very like fairy tale feeling. I was just an old crony witch in the forest living in her little house, and she just loved to create potions and put things together. Like she was cooking, but it was like her magic spells and stuff. And she was just like isolated and alone, which spoke to my hermity side of me. I'm very my I think I shared this in the next podcast episode. I have a two profile in human design, so I very have like half hermit energy. I love the feeling of isolation, and being in my own energy. And she was that, and that validated that part of me that craved solitude. And and as she was in the creation and stuff like that, she's very in communion with nature and like the animals around her. There's like the community connection too, but this time with nature, which was really nice. Uh, this one was a sad story because there was villagers outside of the forest that knew she existed, and they were very um yeah, they had anti-witch vibes. And they hunted her down and they put her to the stake and put her on fire. And the words she said at the end of that one were very profound. I don't remember them, so I'm gonna let you guys listen to the recording. But I remember them being like, oh, and I was crying. I remember crying at the end of that. I was like, because I felt a lot of love at the end of that one, even though it ended so tragically. Um, Showing up in love regardless of how people perceive you or hate you or don't love you back. Um, I love that I'm remembering this one because it it makes me want to listen back to my my recording, but it reminds me of how I feel when during this journey of stepping into my business and being more visually present for my work is how I used to fear how people will engage with me. I still feel that sometimes, like, oh my God, I'm like on the other side of this message is some harmful words that's gonna make me very angry. Um, I still get that a little bit. Maybe that's something to work on in my next hypnotherapy session with one of my pals. But oh, I love that I said that out loud. I think that's what I'll work on next. Thanks, you guys, for letting me process that. Um, but yeah, showing up in love regardless of what's happening. How profound and very hard to do because in our human bodies and our nervous systems and our monkey brains, survival is very an animal part of our DNA and being a human. Um, that being said, it's okay. It's okay if we cannot show up in love all the time. We are just human. Um, but if I ever figure out how to show up in love in all aspects of my life, I'll let you guys know and how I did that. But I have not figured that out. I'm very much in the phase of my life of relishing in my feelings all the time because I have not let myself do that for basically my whole life until like 2021. 2021. Thanks, COVID. Um, the next lifetime. Okay. What did I say? Witch, Merman, and what was the other one? You guys, I'm having a brain fart. I know there was an alien one. Oh, I was a tree. Oh my God. This one also spoke to my stillness and solitude side of me. It spoke to, because I was a tree, not even like a tree in recent decades. I was a tree from like ancient dinosaur times, which was pretty freaking wild. I was like, damn, I'm an old ass fucking tree. But that story or past life, part of you, like somebody, let me take a step back. Some of you can be like, you were a fucking tree. Make it make sense, Christian. Well, okay, this goes back to how I was like, well, this goes into my spiritual beliefs. What I believe in my spiritual beliefs is that everything has a spirit. And I got that. I didn't even get it from it's something that I just in my inner knowing that everything had a spirit. Um, and when I went to Japan and learned that I forgot what it's called, their spiritual belief is everything has a spirit, even like it could be the plastic water ball that's like crunched on the floor, that has a spirit. So I believe trees have spirits. And with that lifetime, because it was such an ancient creature and being, it spoke to my old soul nature. I feel very old soul, and I feel like I've done a lot of this, except for like it's really weird. My challenges with sharing my voice part, it's been a challenge, but I feel like I've done a lot of things. But in this lifetime, I'm finally excited to experience life as a human. That's my that's my Sagittarius side of me. We're very we romanticize life. I'm sorry, you guys, if you don't like think life sucks. I get it. Life did suck for me, and I still romanticize it. It's really like a weird thing in Sagittarian brains. Sorry. And that lifetime gave me a connection to nature or resonated with my connection to nature. I remember growing up and always being in the city, and never really like seeing trees or being in a forest. And I remember the first time my family we went on a trip to like Sequoia National Park in California, and I was just like in awe of nature as a child. I was like, this place is so freaking cool. I could live here. To be honest, I wish I could live in a forest, but maybe when I'm old, maybe later. Not right now. I'm good. I like living in a city. Um, and, I do have access to trees, so it's been very nice. If you guys watch my Instagram, I do share a lot of park videos. Um, and then there was the alien lifetime, and mm, it. If you guys are familiar with galactic history and the circles and people talk to you about galactic history, it seemed like a lifetime on Orion where Orion was destroyed and my planet was destroyed. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. But know that I was an alien species that was destroyed by an enemy alien species. And I think that one spoke to my, well, let's say my weirdo side of me, but also the side of me that's fascinated with outer space and the stars. Like, especially when I travel and I'm in a place where, like, with low light, like no city lights, and in nature, I always like noticing how I'm like so fascinated with the stars. And also my relationship with mortality showed up in that one. Like how we're not here to be here forever, and that even in these other societies that terrible things happen. um I'm like in real time processing this because I'm not even sure what I got out of that one, but definitely the star stuff. I think so. Let's put it this way: when you don't know why you had to receive something, and this happens a lot in a lot of like the modalities that I engage in, even in hypnosis, even in psychic readings, which I think I speak to this in the next episode, is if you don't know why you're getting a piece of information, maybe, just maybe out of curiosity, like maybe you're not supposed to know yet. And that has been very profound for me to understand because I've noticed that a lot. I've noticed that something didn't resonate, and then like 6 months down the line, it lands. So far, the alien experiences, I still don't understand why I see them, why I had that alien experience, except for my fascination with outer space. And then some of you know that I'm like really intrigued by star seeds. Like that resonates with me. If you don't know what star seeds are, Google it. I'll, I'll let you explore that rabbit hole. Um, but yeah, those were the 4 past lives that I'll share from this recording. And let me explain the word hypnosis. Um, I remember saying that earlier in this episode that a lot of people are afraid of their subconscious states and they don't know what they're going to find for themselves there. What are they going to find for themselves in these states? And I'm just going to let you know that you, as long as you're alive, are engaging in hypnotic states on a daily, like most of your day. And you're like, probably like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? I don't have a hypnotist hypnotizing me. What are you talking about? Trance states happen to us all the time. Say you're doing something, a regular activity that you do not, that that you can do it with your eyes closed. Say it's like washing the dishes or washing your car or writing. Automatic writing is something that I do. And your mind just floats into outer space. Like you even like lost your train of thought. You went from, instead of remembering A, B, C, D steps, you went from A to E and you don't know what happened in between. That's a trance state. And a lot of people experience it while they're driving on long drives. Some people don't remember their drives. And they actually call that, I think, highway trance or highway hypnosis. That they actually call it highway hypnosis. So that's the thing. We've all been in hypnotic states. Whenever you zone out, whenever you dream, whenever you're in a state of imagination, when the teacher's just droning on about math and you're just like, your mind goes somewhere else and you're like, what the hell did I just say? You just went into a trance state. You were hypnotized. So that's essentially what hypnosis is, except with hypnotherapy and quantum hypnosis or QHHT, we are intentionally using these subconscious states. And for my work to get to know yourself better and take actions on your life, for hypnotherapists to change patterns, break habits, like cigarette smoking, for an example. For me, I'm working with one of my friends. She's a hypnotherapist, but she's using this modality called NeuroGraphica. And it's basically using hypnosis and art together to make change. And last week, I got so frustrated with my obsession with stats. I would always look at my podcast stats, like they would change. I would look at my follower count, like they would change. They never change. They don't change. And it's like I used to do the same thing with the bathroom scale every day. I would look at the bathroom scale, like the number would change, or my spreadsheet with my finances. Oh my God. Ugh. I would manipulate that freaking spreadsheet like it was actually taking action in in the world. But no, it doesn't. It doesn't make anything happen. You're just changing numbers on a screen. Ah, so annoying. It's so annoying. It's this stupid habit. But we worked on that, and then a couple days ago, I was busy creating. I was in creation mode, creating. And you guys know if you've been following along this whole time, I am finishing the Artist Way this week, and I just finished my 120 day of HAR meditation. Um, if you weren't following me on Instagram stories, HAR is an abundance and prosperity meditation that I did for 120 days instead of the usual 40. And oh my God, I am like night and day different person from 3 months ago. And like, I couldn't get myself to start creating or doing something creative like in the beginning of it. I would push it off. I would subconsciously push it off because that was my pattern. I would do other things. There was always something else to do. Chores, wash the car. I gotta pay bills. I gotta go do that. I gotta run errands. There's always something else to do when you know logically in your mind that I should be creating stuff for my business. It's so crazy how subconscious programming like rules your life. And when we worked on that, a couple days ago, I was just busy creating and I was very happy and in my joy. And I was just like, this is amazing. And when I was getting ready for bed, I was like, wait a second. I had not looked at a stat all fucking day. I was actually creating content. Oh, look, 333. I was creating content all day like I wanted to, from my joy and my pleasure and out of fun and excitement, of course. My words, my purpose, my values behind my work. And by the way, 333 means take action on your goals or your dreams. And that's funny that those numbers came up while I was saying all that stuff. I love angel numbers. But yeah, man, this is powerful stuff. I can't wait. Like, Michelle doesn't know this, that's her name, but I'm gonna try to encourage her to get on my podcast so I can share her with you guys. Her work is so powerful. It drives me crazy that she is not charging for it. In fact, we're a group. We're a group of us are connecting all the time, and it drives us all crazy. She does valuable work, and she's not charging for it yet. But anywho, I want to have her on the podcast someday. And now that I say that out loud, it's probably going to happen because just how my energy's been working lately. Um, Anyways, I hope I answered all your questions about what is quantum hypnosis, and if I didn't, you guys are welcome to leave comments on Substack or DM me on Instagram. I'm on TikTok now. I just started TikTok a few weeks ago, figuring out that freaking platform. But letting it be fun. If you have additional questions, or reach out to me if you want to work with me and get to know who you are in your higher self. Ooh, powerful stuff. Otherwise, I have the breathwork coming up. SNE, Sunday Night Embers, is coming up. You know where to find me, you guys. Thank you for being around. And if you guys want, you can follow, share with your friends, subscribe to wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow me on Substack. I share additional stories. I share my writings in there. The video content for this podcast is there. If you are an annual subscriber to Substack, you get discount for quantum hypnosis, by the way. And yeah, thank you. Thank you guys for joining me today. It was such a pleasure, and I love you guys. Bye. See you on the next one.